guys ready for your main event? You guys ready for your main event?
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last match of Stork Vision and TriStar Boxing. We appreciate everybody joining us. I'll now turn it over to the play-by-play announcer for Stork Vision, Mr. David Hudson. Take it away, David Hudson.
Thanks, everybody, for the final fight of the St. Daddy's Day fights at the fairgrounds. We've got contender Sena Agbeko. He's 20-1. He's a real prospect. He's looking to add to that record and add another notch on his belt, and facing the tough journeyman Lawrence Blakey. Should be an entertaining affair. Anthony Sena is a pressure fighter. He's a strong fighter. As long as he relaxes in the ring and fights to his capability, we should see a very interesting fight.
Boy, and I saw you down there talking to him before this match started, and the guy is just freakish looking. He is just, oh my gosh, like not to sound weird or anything, but like you said earlier, he's built like a Greek god. Here he comes right here. He's built like a Greek god. He's muscle bound.
I'd like to see some improvement from his last time at TriStar, where he won handily, but he didn't look very fluid. And I think it's the fluidity that he needs to develop as a fighter.
Sena is a native of the African nation Ghana. They call him the African assassin. He is 20-1 in his professional career. Lawrence Blakey, 5-8, heading into this fight.
And it'll be entertaining. Sena is a very active fighter. He'll press the action, and I think we're really in for a treat here as a final fight.
If you're Lawrence Blakey, knowing what you're up against here, what are you coming out? What do you got to do?
Well, sometimes Sena can start a little bit slow, so I almost think his best chance is in the opening round if he can land something significant. He's got to make Agbeko fear him. Otherwise, he's in danger of getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. If you could come out early and just land some sort of a big haymaker that kind of shocks Sena and says, "Hey, I'm here, and hey, I can beat you. I'm ready to go." I think that's your best shot. And if you're Sena, it's like we saw out of Edwin Reyes in this last fight, fight your fight. I'm sure.
And just be fluid. Sometimes, if I had one criticism of him, occasionally he can be tight. But he's such a fine young man. He really works hard, and he's got a lot of ability. I'd like to see if he can put it all together and have a really great performance.
Trying to work
now,
the
one
jab.
thing I would say is we can see that Blakey is a southpaw. It's only the second southpaw that Sena's ever faced. So that may be a little bit of a challenge.
But yeah, what are the kind of the differences when you're fighting somebody that fights southpaw?
The punches just come at different angles. So you're so used to fighting orthodox fighters that you're not used to having punches come from those angles. So Sena will have to watch that. But I'm sure that his trainers have worked with him on that. He should be well prepared.
From the looks of things, I'd say Blakey more looking like a sort of a defensive fighter. He's got the hands up, tight to the face, kind of trying to feel Sena out. Sena's throwing a couple of jabs, trying to get himself established.
Yeah, see, that's
there
what
goes Blakey real quick.
He's going to try to establish something early. He's going to try to land something significant early.
Boy, and that was kind of like a king cobra jumping out of his hole right there. He was waiting, and then bang, real quick.
I will give Blakey credit. He looks very relaxed in there. So
absolutely, he does.
He's better than his record suggests. So don't sleep on him. And I don't think Sena will. I think he treats all his opponents with respect, and you have to when you step inside that ring.
Absolutely. At any given moment, you could get your block knocked off. I've said it a couple of times tonight, but if you let your guard down even for half of a second, things can go south.
Millie Sena's trying to find the range with the jab. I'd like to see him pop it out there a little bit more. He's kind of pawing with it. the piston-like jab is a better jab. Just sort of pawing, trying to find his range. Not a lot of action, frankly, right now.
Not really, and I think it's more
A feeling
now
out
you
round.
see Blakey kind of open up a little bit. Probably going to try to. I'm surprised we haven't seen too many jabs out of him trying to establish himself. But
Straight right hand. That's a punch that Sena could have some success with. A straight right, a lead straight right hand against a southpaw sometimes can find a home, but just a real cautious affair right now. And that sometimes happens in boxing. You take a round or two to sort of feel your opponent out. There's a lot on the line for Agbeko. I mean, he's supposed to win the fight. He's the prospect. He's the up and comer. So he's.
If you don't, it could be a pretty big blow to your development.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think he's just taking his opponent seriously. He knows he's got some skills.
Sena with that 5-inch height differential and then that long reach, he's going to get his jabs in, isn't he, David?
He is.
At the end of that round, kind of tough to say. It's really just a couple of jabs out of Agbeko and Blakey. You know, he had that quick onslaught, but really other than that, he didn't even throw a punch hardly.
Really
so
wasn't a lot of action.
Where do you go with that one?
Really wasn't a lot of action that round. Might give the slight edge to Agbeko, but it could go either way. I wouldn't have a quarrel if somebody gave it to Blakey.
For our scoring purposes, we're going to go 10-9 Sena. But could be very different down there at the table.
Really was a feeling out round. I expect Sena to open up a little bit more.
David, this is your first broadcast and everything. How have you enjoyed Stork Vision and working with Fiorello and I?
Absolutely. You guys are two professionals. I'd like to do it again, honestly.
Oh, we're up. We're going to do it on the 31st if we do that MMA. We're talking right now doing an MMA.
It's really fun. You guys have really made it a real enjoyable experience. I thank you for that.
Oh, we enjoy you. You've educated us, and we've learned a lot tonight, and that's what it's all about. Eli Gold says you got to enjoy working with your broadcast team, and you learn something every time you put the headset on and start talking to people. He's got a book out, From Peanuts to Press Box, and it's just it's a great book. And of course, long-time MRN announcer and Alabama Crimson Tide play-by-play announcer, and he's just done it all. But he called hockey up in New York. That's where he got his start. He does not have a college education. He actually he walked up through the ranks. He used to work with Howard Cosell.
You know, Howard Cosell was a lawyer. That's funny, but he made his career really with his interactions with Muhammad Ali. But I can still hear that voice, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Pretty good reenactment right there. You might really much there. He kind of missed him.
Yeah, he's got that sort of counter puncher's mentality. He's going to have to throw more. Obviously, Sena's just going to sort of peck away at him with the jab.
He still does look very relaxed, but at the same time, you kind of wonder. I'm kind of waiting on Sena to sort of pounce on him at some point.
Yeah, he's firing the jab and he's opening up with the right hands. I think Sena really needs to start digging to the body too.
Yeah, and earlier, as you said, that those straight rights that he could probably have success with Blakey fighting southpaw. Trying to keep him up against the ropes here. Let's see if he can put anything together, try to work the body of Sena. Sena ties him up. Dan Ziemba separates them.
Referee Dan Ziemba stopping the action.
Looks like the shoe came untied for Blakey. Sena could take a little bit of a breather here, as well as Blakey.
And remember, kids, the clock stops, and then it picks up when the referee stops it. So the clock was not running on that shoe tie.
Sena's leading with the straight right hand, and then straight left hand, then a right hand to the body. Trying to find a.
There's that straight right again.
Through. Yeah, he's starting to find his jab too. See, those jabs were fired with a little
more oomph to him.
I think Sena won that round. Blakey really didn't do much at all.
We got a 20-18 advantage for Sena right now. moving into round 3, approaching the middle stage of this one. Do you think this is where somebody really takes a hold of this fight?
I think so. The action's got to pick up. I know the crowd wants it.
Yeah.
And frankly, we do too.
We do. We definitely do. But, you know.
Just a feeling out process.
Yeah, so far. And you kind of expect that with two fighters of this caliber. You know, they're definitely heavyweights, I would venture to say, the both of them. You know, especially for Blakey going up against a guy that's a big-time prospect like this, you know, I'm sure he's certainly done his homework, and he's just got to try to get something established.
Yeah, I think he's really hoping that Sena will open up and then he can land that straight left hand. That seems to be his calling card, is that straight left hand. And he is putting pressure by advancing, but the problem is he's starting to get those straight right hands coming right at him, and some of them are breaking through his guard. So he's gonna have to get more offensive.
Sena doing a real good job of setting it up with these left jabs. Those jabs have been getting better and better as the fight's been moving on, and I expect him to land something pretty heavy here pretty soon if Blakey can't put something together.
You know, that straight right hand's looking pretty good. Yeah, the action's picking up.
Yeah,
That's exactly what we want to see.
We can hear the pop of the gloves up here now.
Sena getting more aggressive, trying to impose his will.
Trying to land a right to the body. Sena's done a really good job of taking advantage of the reach that he has, though, versus what Blakey has so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing a tremendous amount, but he's doing more than his opponent, and so he's certainly controlling the action.
David, I got a question about the ring itself. Do boxers have to adapt to the ring? Is rings different for some fighters versus others? I mean, you have fought, and I guess, as you said before, you've laid on the mat a couple of times.
Well, only in training. I've never had a real professional fight, obviously. I'm not conditioned enough. I'm pretty pathetic, really, but I do enjoy just training with it a little bit. Rings vary in size. Sometimes they vary in surface. Occasionally they can differ on how tense the ropes are. So, yes, rings can be very different. This is a really good ring, though, and I just hope the action will pick up here a little bit.
Slip right there for Blakey. Ziemba lets him get back together.
And Sena's getting more confident, firing the right hand, doing what he has to do, but Blakey's I think he's just waiting for that one big moment. And sometimes that big moment doesn't come. You've got to create your opportunities.
Yes.
That's a good right hand. No, there's a good
is.
right hand. He had a good little exchange there. And that seemed to fire the assassin up. And he's just going at him now. We've got a fight. The crowd starts to get into it.
Boy, and that we're getting a little bit more.
A little bit more. I'd still give the round to Sena because Blakey just had that one moment.
But boy, it's certainly starting to seem like
there's still some palpable tension in this fight.
Yeah,
I think
there's something building up.
We
here.
have the feeling that Blakey has the potential to land a nice combination, and then Agbeko really hasn't opened up fully yet. So I think we still have the potential for some fireworks, and frankly, I hope we get it.
What do you think? What are they telling Sena over there right now? After that was really the first time in this fight that he saw a good onslaught of punches when he was down here in this corner.
Well, I think they're going to have him try to set down on his jab and then fire that straight right hand, but then also create some angles and maybe throw a left hook. Just throw different patterns at his opponent. You don't want to get too mechanical.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're starting the 4th round here of the main event. David Hudson is bringing you all the action live, and Anthony Fiorella is bringing you the color on Stork Vision. Take it away, David Hudson.
Yes, we enter round 4. Sena Agbeko looking to impose his will. There's a left hook. I think he's going to try to open up a little bit more.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. We're starting to get to that point of the fight where I think not just Sena, really both of these guys are gonna start to show us a little bit more what they got, and try to land that big blow.
Sena's really he's winning the fight with the jab.
Yeah, he has been. He's been, like I said last round, I think he's really doing a good job. That was a great combination right there. He's doing a good job of using that reach and getting in there with that left hand and really trying to set something up. He just hadn't been able to put together the whole package yet.
That's right. And I think he has a healthy respect of his opponent.
Well,
he knows that Blakey has the potential to explode. He just sort of waits. But, fighting in spurts is dangerous. You need to be consistent.
Blakey, when he has to get really close, when he's far away like that, he's at a disadvantage. He has to get in close, doesn't he, David?
Absolutely.
And with Sena's height, advantage. If you're Blakey, I would think, you'd really want to work the body if you could with how tall Sena is. He's got a really big midsection that can be exposed.
That's a great point, and he really does seem to be a headhunter in this fight. I'm not sure he's thrown a single body punch. There we go. Rushes in.
He keeps pouncing and pouncing, but other than that one time this past round, he hadn't been able to land anything significant.
Nope. That's well said. Sena's controlling the fight with the jab, occasional straight right hand.
And he's done a good job of avoiding those potential onslaughts for the most part as well.
He's getting more comfortable, and he looks a little bit more fluid than his last appearance here.
He does, yeah. He's
showing some improvement.
He's picking up that combo, isn't he, David?
Good right hand. He's getting more aggressive. Blakey's got to come back with something.
And the thing about Sena, too, I know you talk about the effective punches, but all the punches that he's thrown, it seems so far, he has landed. He's not missing a whole lot either.
Yeah, he's just been the more active fighter, and in a close round, the more active fighter is going to get the nod. So he's winning the fight.
Nearing the end of round number 4 here. So far, it's been a lot of feeling out here in this fight, but a couple of short spurts.
Another round for Sena. Blakey just is not doing enough to win rounds. So 40-36.
40-36 our score now.
One of those rounds was close. Could be 39-37. From the last fight, we don't really know what the scores could be because they were all over the place. But
yeah, and who knows?
Sena is winning the fight.
We could be at the end of this fight and it end up being a 1-point differential for all we know with the way they've been scoring it tonight. We just don't know.
And I think Sena's certainly winning the fight. He's controlling it with the jab and the straight right hand.
You're a trainer for Blakey, and it's not going well. You're not doing anything. What do you tell him at this point? Because it looks like he might end up with a big L.
Well, you got to throw more punches. You got to take some chances.
I mean,
you've got to throw different angles. Maybe throw punches from wider angles. Mm-hmm. Maybe a lead right hook. Maybe a left uppercut. Just do something different.
I mean, because if you're losing, do you use these last 2 rounds to work on something? Or, I mean, where are you at as a boxer?
Well, this would really put him on the map if he could score an upset. So I think you got to go for broke. And he's got to throw punches with bad intentions. He's got to try to win instead of just go the distance. But I can see why he's hesitant to throw punches because you got a good jab, straight right hand coming right at you consistently. But he's just going to have to go for broke.
Sena Agbeko, the African assassin, as he's also known, doing a great job of setting him up with these jabs. And will this be the round that he's able to get one of those big right hooks in there? We'll find out here in round number 5.
Blakey's punch output is just not not what you need in order to win a fight. Sena also has a good chin, so it's going to take more than one punch, I think, to.
And with him being
dramatic.
as tall as he is, how much more important does it make it to have that good chin?
It's really intimidating to fight a fighter with a longer reach because you throw your jab out and the guy hits you and you hit air. And Sena's really starting to open up. He's really got to.
It's almost it's almost like he's inviting Blakey.
He's got to close the distance and try to land a really good short straight left hand. I think that's his chance, but he's letting it pass by. I don't know if it's sparring partner mentality or just not really seems to be. He may be going into survival mode for all we know. He's just dominating the fight with the jab and the straight right hand.
Yeah, it's been the same old song and dance this whole time.
Trying to go to the body some and
sticking the tongue out right there.
Getting a little more confident, a little movement, side to side angles.
Looking for that right angle.
You know, sometimes with these journeyman opponents, they don't really seem to go all out. They get into defensive mode, and that seems to be what Blakey's doing at this moment. You'd like to see him go for broke and try to throw some haymakers.
Nearing the end of round 5. And that'll be it.
Another round of the bank for Sena Agbeko. I think on our scorecards, he's now up 50 to
50-45 is what we'd have.
And then a shutout. Maybe you give Blakey one of the rounds possibly, but at most he's won one round.
Unless Blakey comes out and knocks this guy out, then
it's over.
That should be it as we approach the final round of the night, folks.
But you'd like to see a little bit more fireworks from a main event.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Hopefully there'll be a little more action here. But that does not dissipate at all or take away from the quality of this fight card.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been a very high-quality card overall. Once again, from TriStar Boxing. He's really bringing boxing back to the Middle Tennessee area.
We can't thank everybody enough for joining us. And, David, you've just done a wonderful job. We can't thank you enough in helping us. And, like we said, we tell the viewers that this is our first boxing match. But, man, you made it first class. You are just a historian and know the game.
Well, I love the sport, and I know a lot of other people do. And I just hope TriStar will keep bringing these great shows to Middle Tennessee.
We hope we can be back also. Take it away, David, for the final round.
Yeah, well, let's see some fireworks. I mean, Blakey needs to do something, and Sena may want to try to press the action more, see a good left hook. But I think Sena's pretty well dominated the fight.
I was going to say at the same time, I hate to say it and I don't want to see it, but Sena may get a little bit more defensive, because I'm sure he's down there at the scoring table. They probably have him with a pretty commanding lead as well. And
yeah, but I think he's got a lot of fans here, so he may want to try to put an emphatic exclamation point on the victory.
That's just waited. They've been waiting to see
Blakey
him.
really just hadn't done much, to be honest with you.
There's that left. We've seen so much from him tonight. That left jab. He's done a really good job with the jab, though.
He's really opening up. I'm almost thinking Blakey's glad this is a 6-rounder, not an 8-rounder.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure he'd be able to go more. He's got to fire something back in retaliation. I mean, it's getting to be a.
You've waited five and a half rounds now.
And that's what I was.
You better get it going, dude. Your clock's ticking.
I was trying to say earlier about his best chance maybe in the opening because Sena's gotten more relaxed. He's gotten more confident. He's gotten more fluid, and the combinations are flowing.
Yeah, Blakey's just. I think he's just in survive mode. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's in survival mode.
Yeah.
Just trying to get to the end of this match.
Well, it takes two to tango, right?
Yeah. There goes Sena.
This may be his best round. Would you agree, Anthony?
Yeah, I would very much agree with that. He's come out a lot more aggressive than he has in these past rounds. Not a whole lot of the pawing that we've seen. It's been more of the straight jabs and then going to the right. Probably about a minute left here, folks.
I think maybe, for the next fight, I think maybe time to step up a little bit the opposition.
Whoa. He went for a big right, just missed it.
Really opening up here, putting an exclamation point on a commanding victory, really.
Absolutely. He came out tonight and he just dominated this fight. Lawrence Blakey just didn't really look like he wanted any part of him.
Yeah.
And that'll be it.
Should be either 60-54, maybe 59-55.
We'll go 10-9 Sena.
But if they have a split decision
final.
on this fight, there's no way.
There's no way.
Agbeko dominated 60-54 or 59-55.
We will wait to hear the final verdict from Tony Lehue. And as the crowd,
Anthony, what do you think? Maybe it's time to step up the quality of opposition.
Yeah, there's that first fight, that Alexi Martinez and Eric Draper fight. I thought that was a great fight tonight.
Awesome fight.
That was an awesome fight. The Chucky Driver and Ronnie Watson was over real quick. Sondo and Hakeem Atkinson.
Good
that
fight.
wasn't too bad of a fight either.
And Reyes Vasquez.
And Reyes Vasquez was a very good fight as well. But overall across the board, there could have been a couple more guys out here in some of these fights to make it a little more competitive. But
overall,
I think they did a good
strong
job.
showing. Yeah,
I do agree.
What
with
I
that.
think, what I mean is, I think for his next fight, Agbeko may need a higher quality opponent.
Just
to see where he's at.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's
yeah.
But
folks filing out here at the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. We appreciate everybody joining us on Stork Vision. We can't thank David Hudson enough for what he's done for us tonight. And it's been a great event. I mean, Matt Young done a great job. He's put this thing on. We hope to be invited back. Maybe back on March 31st, folks. We may be doing MMA, and we're working to get David to do that. He's very versed in the MMA and knows it well, and we just love to have you back, David.
Thank you, Stork. Thank you, Anthony. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, and it's been great. I've enjoyed it very much as well. And like I said, coming in tonight, didn't really know what to expect, but working with somebody that knows boxing like you, it makes it so much more enjoyable and so much better.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you don't get it any better than that. David Hudson called that 60-54. Two judges called it 60-54.
And he said there may be a 59-55, and there was.
Yeah. Well, there was one round where Blakey had a spurt, so I can agree with either scorecard, 60-54 or 59-55. The judges did a good job on that fight.
David, as we wrap up here and everything, and it becomes the end and everything, how many more of these will be in Nashville between now and the end of the year based on what you know, just to give our fans a little?
Well, I think TriStar's plan is to have about 4 fight cards this year.
Like one a quarter?
Yeah, right. And then Ramon Arellano is also starting up his boxing. He had 1 fight card in February.
How did that go?
It went pretty well. There were more amateur fights on that card, but I think that'll pick up as well. But I just want to see more live boxing. I love boxing. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a sweet science, and it can be brutal too. And it's just a great sport, and we need to see more pro boxing.
And I think it's something that's good for Nashville in general too. It's over these past couple of years with the success that the Predators have had, even, the minor league baseball team, the Nashville Sounds, they've got a beautiful new stadium. The Tennessee Titans finally got their way back into the playoffs this year. And to be able to add boxing, to be able to come out for fans to see, I think it would be great. This is an area that I think would really embrace the sport.
Absolutely. And one other thing, too, is there are a lot of good amateur boxing programs in Middle Tennessee. So as some of these amateur boxing step up to the professional ranks, we do have a world-ranked contender from Ashland City, Caleb Sweet Hands Plant, who's an undefeated super middleweight. And he often spars with Sena Agbeko. And we've got some prospects here, Medel Sando, Eduardo Aguilar, Chucky Driver. I mean, there's some good-looking young prospects, and I just hope that they'll continue to be tested and developed. And I think this is a fertile ground for boxing. We've been fight-starved here for many years, and I really appreciate TriStar Boxing bringing boxing back.
Anthony, anything else?
If I could add anything, coming into tonight, the number one thing that I thought I was going to see was I honestly kind of expected a couple of quick fights. We had one that only went one round. These were all very competitive fighters that were pitted against each other. It's like he said earlier, I think they did a pretty good job with the lineup card, and it was a really entertaining night, and I'm just glad that I was able to be here.
One other thing, too, I think one of the things that they did well was they put two guys in. Draper versus Martinez was an incredible fight. When you match fighters like that are really competitive,
to start off the night,
made for a very compelling fight.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can't thank you enough. We appreciate Matt Young, David Hudson, Anthony Fiorella. My name is Stork Montgomery. I own and operate Stork Vision. If you would like to go live, or if you find an event or you need something, just contact me, Google me, let me know. And we can't thank you enough. And we're signing off here from the Tennessee State Fairgrounds and the St. Patty's Day Boxing. We'll see you soon in the ring.